Hello, my friend. Tonight I want to tell you a quiet secret about the body you have lived inside your whole life. It is far stranger than it looks. The hands resting near you, the slow rise and fall of your chest, the gentle warmth beneath your skin, all of it is built from things older than language, from a world before there were trees, before the first eyes ever opened. And the strangeness has not faded with time. Inside you at this very moment, ancient travelers are still quietly at work. Pieces of other people may be living silently within your tissue. A faint glow of light is leaving your skin in the dark. And just below your ribs rests a second brain you have never once had to command. None of this is invention. Every word of it is real, measured with care by scientists who are still, even now, working to understand it fully. So let yourself grow heavy and still. Soften your shoulders, let your jaw unclench, and ease your breathing into something slow and deep. There is nothing to solve tonight, and nowhere you need to be. Over the next little while, we will drift together through 20 strange and beautiful truths about the body that carries you through this world. You do not need to hold on to any of them. Just let them wash over you, the way a warm tide slips up over the sand as you slowly, softly fall asleep. Inside nearly every cell of your body lives something that was once a creature all its own. They are called mitochondria, and there are more of them inside you than you could ever count, packed into your muscles, your beating heart, the cells behind your eyes. Each one is far too small to see, shaped a little like a soft grain of rice, and the work they do never stops. Day and night, without a single pause, they take the food you have eaten and the air you have breathed and turn them into energy. Every heartbeat, every thought drifting through your mind, every slow breath you are taking right now is powered by them. Even the warmth you feel beneath your blanket is theirs, the gentle heat of countless tiny fires glowing quietly inside you. There are so many of them that the numbers begin to lose their meaning. A single one of your cells might hold hundreds, even thousands of these little engines, and your body holds many trillions of cells in turn. Some of the most tireless parts of you, your heart, your busy working muscles, are especially crowded with them, packed in tight where the need for energy never lets up. In a very real sense, a great share of what you are, by the sheer count of living parts, is made of these ancient guests. Here's where it becomes strange and wonderful. Long ago, mitochondria were not a part of us at all. They were bacteria, free and alive on their own, drifting through the ancient seas and feeding as they pleased. This was around 2 billion years ago, a stretch of time so deep it slips straight through the fingers of the imagination. The earth back then held no forests, no animals, nothing you would know by name. There was only water and bare stone and the simplest flickers of life. And then, scientists believe, a single quiet event changed the course of everything that would ever live. One of these small bacteria found its way inside a larger cell. Maybe it was swallowed whole and somehow never broken down. Maybe it slipped inside as an intruder, looking for shelter or a meal. Exactly how it happened is a question researchers are still working to answer, a moment hidden far beyond the reach of any record. But however it began, the two cells did not turn on each other. Instead, they settled into a partnership. The smaller one remained inside, protected and fed, and in exchange it offered up the thing it did so well, the steady making of energy. Two separate lives quietly became one, and that partnership has never once ended. It is still unfolding tonight, inside you. Every mitochondrion you carry is a direct descendant of those ancient visitors, handed down through an unbroken line of living cells that reaches back 2 billion years to that first gentle merging in the sea. Not once in all that time did the chain break. If it had, you would not be here. What moves me most is that they have never entirely forgotten what they used to be. Even now, your mitochondria carry their own DNA, kept separate from the DNA held in the heart of your cell. It is a small, looping ring of instructions, the very same shape that bacteria still carry today. Deep inside you, that ancient little loop goes on quietly working, a faint echo of a life that was lived before there were any eyes in the world to witness it. And there is something tender folded into this, something almost impossibly intimate. The DNA inside your mitochondria came to you from your mother, and from almost no one else. She received hers from her own mother, who received it from hers, back and back through a line of women without end. If you could somehow follow that single thread, mother to mother to mother, it would carry you across thousands of years and over every continent on Earth, until you arrived at one woman who lived in Africa long before any story was ever told. Scientists sometimes call her our mitochondrial mother. She was not our only ancestor, of course, but she is the one whose tiny inner fire still burns unbroken in every living person tonight, including you. So the energy keeping you warm beneath the covers, the energy letting your chest rise and fall so softly, flows from a creature that was once not you. A guest that arrived 2 billion years ago and simply chose to stay, weaving itself so deeply into us that we could not survive even a single moment without it. It is a quiet thing to rest your mind on, that you are not truly a single being, alone and separate, that you are, in a sense, a gathering, a long collaboration between you and something far older than you, working together so seamlessly that you have never once felt the join. The border between what is you and what was once another living thing has softened and faded until it simply disappeared. And tonight, as you grow heavier and more still, those countless small fires keep burning all the same. They ask nothing of you. You need not command them, or attend to them, or lift a finger to help. As you drift down toward sleep, they carry on doing exactly what they have done since complex life first began, warming you from somewhere deep within, tending the soft and faithful machinery of you, as steady now as they were at the very dawn of it all. So rest easy. You are being held in very old and very gentle hands. There may be cells living inside you this very moment that are not genetically your own. They did not arrive through any illness or accident. They came from the people closest to you in all the world. If you grew inside your mother, as we all did, then while you were forming, some of her cells quietly crossed into you, and a few of them may have stayed. Long after your birth, long into your life, small traces of your mother can still be carried within your body. A part of her went with you when you left and never fully departed, and the crossing runs in both directions. If you have ever carried a child, then some of that child's cells almost certainly slipped into you as well, drifting through the same soft border that once joined you together. Those cells too can linger for years and years. Scientists have a name for this gentle mingling of one person's cells inside another. They call it microchimerism, after the chimera of old myth, the creature made of more than one being woven into a single form. This is not a rare quirk found in only a few people. Scientists believe it is remarkably common, perhaps nearly universal among those who have carried a pregnancy, and likely present in most of us who were once carried ourselves. It has almost certainly been happening for as long as mammals have existed, quietly, in countless bodies across millions of years, entirely unnoticed, until modern science learned how to look for the faint signature of one person's cells hidden among another's. What makes this so quietly astonishing is where these borrowed cells have been found. They are not tucked away in one small corner of the body. Researchers have discovered them scattered through the blood, settled into organs, woven into healing tissue. And in one remarkable study, researchers examining the brains of women discovered cells carrying male DNA woven into the tissue, most likely left there by sons those women had once carried, sometimes many decades before. Cells from a child, having traveled all the way up and quietly made a home in the very mind of the mother who carried him. Sit with that for a moment, softly. It means a mother may carry pieces of her children within her, not just in memory and in feeling, but woven physically into the substance of her body, perhaps even into her thoughts. And a child may carry pieces of their mother in the same way, two people overlapping in flesh long after they have become separate lives. Now here is the part that remains a true mystery, the question scientists are still working patiently to understand. What are these cells actually doing? No one yet knows for certain. There are signs that they may be helpful. Some studies suggest these wandering cells gather at wounds and damaged places, lending a hand in repair, as though a mother's cells in her child or a child's cells in their mother still feel some quiet pull to mend and protect. Other research hints they might sometimes play a part in illness, perhaps even in certain conditions where the body turns against itself. The truth is likely tangled, and tonight it is still being gently uncovered. We are only beginning to read the meaning of these visitors. But whatever their purpose turns out to be, the simple fact of them is tender beyond easy words. We tend to imagine ourselves as sealed and separate, one body, one self, with a clear and certain edge where we stop and the rest of the world begins. And yet the truth is softer and more porous than that. The people who made us and the people we have made are not entirely outside of us. They are stitched in, carried, held in the quiet interior places where we cannot see, traveling with us through every ordinary day. There is an old longing in many of us to stay close to the people we love, to keep some part of them near, to never quite let go. And it turns out the body has been doing exactly that all along, in its own silent way, with no instruction and no asking. It simply kept a little of them, a few cells, drifting and settling, choosing to remain. Think too of how patient these cells are. Some of them may have crossed over decades ago, in a year you can barely remember, and they are with you still. They did not announce themselves, and they asked for nothing. They simply took up residence in the warm dark of you and stayed, keeping a kind of silent vigil through all the long seasons of your life. So perhaps you are never quite as alone as you feel on the quietest nights. Somewhere within you, in tissue and blood, and possibly even in the soft folds of the brain, a small number of cells may belong to someone you came from, or someone who came from you. A gentle company you carry without ever feeling its weight. And tonight, as you let yourself grow still and heavy and warm, they are there too, quiet, resting, a faint and faithful trace of the people woven into the story of you, settling down into the dark along with the rest of you as you drift slowly off to sleep. About 1 part in every 12 of your DNA did not come from your ancestors in the way you might expect. It was left behind long ago by viruses. To understand how strange this is, picture what a virus normally does. It slips inside a living cell and leaves its own genetic instructions there, turning the cell into a place that makes more virus. Most of the time, this is a passing invasion that the body fights off and forgets. But every so often, across the deep stretch of evolution, a virus left its mark in a very particular kind of cell, an egg or a sperm cell, the cells that carry life forward into the next generation. And when that happened, the viral instructions did not simply fade away. They were copied into the child, and then into that child's children, and on, down through countless generations, until they arrived intact in you. We carry the ghosts of ancient infections in our blueprint. Battles that were fought and survived millions of years ago, written permanently into the book of us. Scientists call these remnants endogenous retroviruses, and there are tens of thousands of their traces scattered through human DNA. Add them all together, and they make up close to 8% of your entire genetic code. Almost 1/10 of the instructions that build you were authored, in a sense, by viruses that infected your distant ancestors and never left. For a long time, scientists assumed these viral fragments were simply junk, broken leftovers with no purpose, riding along quietly and doing nothing at all. And many of them may indeed be silent. But then came a discovery that changed the way we see ourselves. One of the most astonishing findings in all of biology. There is a gene in your DNA, vital and active, that builds an essential part of the placenta, the remarkable organ that lets a mother nourish a growing child inside her. And that gene did not arise from our own ancestral line. It came from a virus. Long ago, an ancient viral gene, one whose original task was to help a virus fuse into the cells it invaded, was quietly borrowed by our ancestors and put to an entirely new and gentle use, helping to build the very tissue that lets mammals carry their young alive and protected within the body. Let the wonder of that settle over you slowly. There's a real possibility that the reason we are born the way we are, cradled and grown inside our mothers rather than left in eggs to fend for ourselves, traces back to a tool first invented by a virus. Something that began as a means of infection became, over unimaginable time, a means of nurturing new life. The very thing that once invaded us was reshaped across the ages into part of how we came to be. And it may not be the only gift of its kind. Scientists studying these ancient sequences have found hints that borrowed viral pieces have been put to use elsewhere too, lending fragments of themselves to the building of the brain, to the earliest days of a developing embryo, to the defenses the body raises against infection. Again and again, it seems, life took these foreign scraps and found some use for them, the way a builder might gather stones from an old ruined wall and lay them quietly into the foundation of a new home. It is humbling, and it is strangely beautiful. We so often imagine viruses as nothing but enemies, small and hostile things to be feared and fought, and many of them are. Yet woven into our deepest design are the descendants of ancient viruses, no longer enemies at all, but quiet contributors to the architecture of being human. They are part of the long, tangled, generous story of how life builds itself out of whatever it can find, never starting clean, but borrowing endlessly, reshaping the old into something new. And much of this story is still unread. Scientists are only beginning to understand what all these ancient viral fragments do inside us. Some may sit silent forever. Others, researchers are learning, may switch on at certain moments, playing roles we have not yet fully traced in early life, in the immune system, perhaps in ways we have not even thought to look. There are whole chapters here waiting to be opened, written in a language we are still learning to read. But tonight, none of that asks anything of you. The ancient viral writing folded into your cells is simply there, as it has been since long before you were born, as it will be long after. A quiet inheritance from a world of struggles you will never have to face, settled now into the calm machinery of you. So let your breathing slow and your thoughts grow soft. Deep within you lies a record of survival far older than memory. The faded handwriting of viruses that came and went 100,000 lifetimes ago. They left their mark, and life carried on, and that long, unbroken carrying on is part of what made you. Rest now quietly inside that old and patient story. There is a second brain inside you, and it does not sit in your head. It rests far lower, woven all through the long winding tube of your gut, from your stomach down through your intestines. And it is not a brain in the way we usually mean the word, but it is built from the very same material, hundreds of millions of nerve cells, the same kind that fill your skull. Some scientists estimate there are around 500 million of them down there, more than you would find in the entire brain of a small animal, all laced through the walls of your digestive system. They even have a name for it. They call it the enteric nervous system, and more fondly, the second brain. What earns it such a name is something genuinely surprising. This network can work on its own. Most of the body waits on instructions from the brain in your head, signals traveling down the nerves to tell each part what to do. But your gut does not need to wait. Cut off entirely from the brain, it can still sense and decide and act, carrying out the slow and complicated work of moving food along and drawing out its goodness, all by itself, without a single word from above. It is the only part of your body that can run its own affairs in quite this way, a quiet and capable mind of its own, tending its labor in the dark. And it is always talking. Your gut and your brain are joined by a great nerve that runs between them like a private telephone line. And the strange thing is which way most of the messages are traveling. You might expect the brain to be giving the orders, sending instructions down, but the truth runs the other way. The large majority of the signals on that line are flowing upward from the gut to the brain. Your belly, it turns out, has far more to say to your head than your head has to say to your belly. It is constantly reporting back, murmuring up its endless news about all that is happening down below. Perhaps this is why we feel so much of our lives in the gut. Think of how you describe your deepest sensations. A decision known in your gut. A flutter of nerves before something that matters. A heaviness in the pit of your stomach when the news is hard. A warmth there when you are safe and loved. We tend to treat these as mere figures of speech. But your gut is full of nerves, in constant conversation with your mind, and the feelings we locate there may be more real and more rooted than we ever guessed. There is another curious detail. A great deal of a certain messenger chemical, one many people know as a key to mood and contentment, is actually made and held not in the brain, but in the gut. The vast majority of the body's supply of it sits down there in your digestive tract. Scientists are careful to point out that the supply in your gut and the supply in your brain are kept largely apart, doing different jobs. So it would be a mistake to imagine your stomach simply handing happiness up to your mind. And yet the sheer fact of it, that so much of a chemical we tie to how we feel resides in the belly, hints at just how deeply the gut and our sense of well-being may be entwined, in ways we are still working to understand. Now here is where honesty matters, and where the mystery is still very much alive. Scientists are working hard to understand just how deep this connection truly runs. There are tantalizing hints that the state of your gut, and even the trillions of tiny microbes living within it, may influence your mood, your sense of calm, perhaps even how you think and feel from day to day. Some of these threads are well supported, and others are still being carefully tested. It would be too much to claim we understand it all, because we do not. Not yet. This is a living frontier, and much of what connects the gut to the mind remains a beautiful open question. But what we do know is wonder enough. Deep in your core, you carry a second web of nerves, nearly as numerous as the brain of a small creature. It hums along on its own, asking nothing of your attention, and it speaks to your mind far more than your mind ever speaks back. All of it happening quietly, faithfully, beneath every moment of your day, while you go about your life, never once aware of the patient work being done within. You have never had to think about it, not for a single second. Through every meal you have ever eaten, that hidden second brain has done its work in silence, tending you, keeping you nourished and whole, asking for no thanks and no notice. And tonight is no different. As you settle into stillness, as your breathing slows and the day loosens its hold, that quiet network deep inside you carries gently on. It needs no instruction from you now. It simply tends to its work in the warm dark, faithful as ever, while you let go of everything and drift softly down towards sleep. Try as you might, you cannot tickle yourself. Go ahead and run your own fingers along your ribs or across the sole of your foot, the very places where another person's touch would set you squirming and laughing. From your own hand, there is nothing. A faint pressure, perhaps, but none of that helpless, ticklish spark. It simply will not come. And in that small, almost silly failure hides one of the most profound things your brain does every waking second of your life. The reason is this: your brain is not a passive thing, sitting and waiting to receive whatever the world sends it. It is a tireless predictor, always running a quiet step ahead, guessing what is about to happen before it happens. And whenever you move your own body, your brain knows. A copy of every command to move is sent off to a part of the brain that uses it to predict, with great precision, exactly what that movement will feel like. So when your hand reaches for your own ribs, your brain has already worked out the touch before your fingers ever arrive. And because it saw the sensation coming, it gently turns the volume down. The feeling is dulled, smoothed away, made unremarkable. There's no surprise in it, and so there is no tickle. Researchers who study this have a name for the brain's little forecast. They call it a forward model, a kind of internal simulation the brain spins up of your own actions, running a fraction of a second ahead of reality. There is a part of the brain, tucked at the back and below, long known for its role in smooth and coordinated movement, that seems to do much of this predicting. It quietly runs the numbers on every motion you make and whispers ahead to the rest of the brain what is coming. When scientists watched the brain at work, they could see it respond more strongly to a touch from outside than to the very same touch delivered by a person's own hand. The brain, in other words, was visibly turning down the sensation it had already predicted, right there for the instruments to see. But let another person reach toward you, and everything changes. Their movements are not yours. Your brain has no advanced copy of what they are about to do, no way to predict the precise moment and place of their touch. And so the sensation arrives at full strength, unexpected and uncancelled, and your body answers with that electric, squirming aliveness we call being tickled. Pause on what this quietly reveals. In order to dull the touch of your own hand, your brain must somehow know in every instant the difference between what you are doing and what the world is doing to you. It must draw a line constantly and effortlessly between self and not self. That line is one of the most fundamental things about being a conscious creature, and you cross it 10,000 times a day without ever noticing. The simple fact that you cannot tickle yourself is your brain quietly showing you that it always knows which actions are your own. This same quiet prediction is woven through all of your life, far beyond tickling. It is the reason the world holds still when you sweep your eyes across a room, even though the image is sliding wildly across the back of your eye. The same prediction is why you do not feel the clothes resting on your skin or notice the constant sound of your own breathing until the moment you turn your attention to them. Your brain is endlessly filtering out the expected, the self-made, the unsurprising, so that you can notice what truly matters, the new, the strange, the thing you did not see coming. It is forever asking, beneath all awareness, is this me or is this something else? And scientists have found something quietly moving in the rare moments when this sense falters. There are conditions in which a person's brain has trouble telling self-generated actions from outside ones, where the usual clear line begins to blur. And in some of those cases, people become able to do the impossible. They can tickle themselves. When the brain loses its certain grip on what is self and what is other, even something as small as a tickle slips through the gap. It is a strange and gentle reminder of how much rests on that quiet, constant sorting, how the ordinary feeling of being a single, bounded self is something the brain must build, moment by moment, rather than a thing we are simply handed. So the next time the thought drifts past that you cannot tickle your own ribs, you might remember what it truly means. That somewhere beneath your awareness, faithfully, in every waking moment, your brain is drawing the soft boundary of you, tracing the edge between your own self and all the rest of the world so seamlessly and so well that you have never once had to think about it. And tonight, as you lie still and let your hands rest, that quiet work goes on. Your brain keeps its gentle watch over the line of you, asking and answering its endless silent question, sorting the self from the world with effortless ease. There is nothing for you to do, only to let your body grow heavy and calm, and to drift softly past the edge of waking down into sleep. A pill with no medicine in it, nothing but sugar, can still make you feel better. And stranger yet, it can work even when you know there is no medicine in it at all. This is the placebo effect, and it is one of the most quietly astonishing things in all of medicine. For a long time, it was treated as a kind of nuisance, a trick of the mind that got in the way of testing real drugs. Give someone a fake treatment, tell them it might help, and a surprising number of people genuinely improve. Their pain eases, their stomachs settle, the heaviness of their weariness lifts away. The pill itself does nothing, and yet something, somewhere inside them, responds as though it had. For years, the easy explanation was that people were simply imagining the relief, or being polite, or quietly fooling themselves. But the deeper science has revealed something far harder to dismiss. When a person takes a placebo, believing it may help, real changes can unfold inside the body. The brain can release its own natural painkillers, its own soothing chemistry, gentle substances it had within reach all along. The expectation of relief becomes, in a measurable way, relief itself. The belief reaches down into the body and rearranges something real. It is important to be honest here about what this can and cannot do. A placebo does not mend a broken bone, or drive out an infection, or melt away a serious disease. It works on the parts of our experience that the brain itself helps to shape. Things like pain and nausea and exhaustion and unease. But within that territory, its reach is real and well documented, strong enough that every honest medicine must be tested against it to prove that it does more than belief alone. The evidence turns up in places you might not expect. People with certain disorders of movement have shown real, measurable easing of their symptoms after a treatment that held no medicine, the body responding to expectation alone. Those carrying long stretches of pain or the deep fatigue that can follow serious illness have found genuine relief from it. The effect is not the same in everyone, and it does not reach every ailment. But it is real enough and consistent enough that scientists treat it with great seriousness and design their studies carefully around it, precisely because they know how powerfully the expectation of healing can move through a person. And now we come to the part that truly bends the mind. You might assume the whole effect depends on being fooled, on believing the sugar pill is real medicine. So scientists tried something that should not have worked at all. They gave people a placebo and told them the plain truth. They said, "This is a pill with no active medicine in it, and we are giving it to you openly, knowing that it is inert." And astonishingly, for many people, it still helped. Those who took a sugar pill they knew to be a sugar pill still felt their symptoms ease in study after study, with troubles like ongoing pain and certain stubborn complaints of the gut. Sit quietly with how strange that is. The relief did not seem to require the lie. Somehow, the simple acts of taking something, of being cared for, of moving through the gentle ritual of treatment, of holding even a sliver of hope, were enough to stir the body's own response, even when the mind knew perfectly well there was no medicine at work. The body answered the gesture of healing, it seems, and not only the chemistry of it. No one fully understands how this happens. That is the honest heart of it. We know that expectation matters, and we know the body has built into it some quiet capacity to soothe itself when it senses that help has come. But how a thought, a belief, a moment of hope translates into real chemistry flowing through real flesh remains one of the deep and open puzzles of being alive. Mind and body, which we so often imagine as two separate things, turn out to be far more entangled than that, woven together so closely that a hope held in the mind can leave a footprint in the flesh. There is something gently hopeful tucked inside this mystery. It means that care itself, The simple human acts of tending and comforting and offering hope are not nothing. They are not merely kindnesses laid over the top of real medicine. They reach into us, the feeling of being looked after, of being safe, of believing things may turn out all right, can stir something real and healing in the body in ways we are only beginning to trace. So tonight, as you rest, you might let that quiet truth settle over you, that you carry within you some hidden capacity to soothe your own self, woken by hope, by care, by the sense that you are safe and held. You do not need to summon it or to understand it. It is simply part of you, as it is part of all of us. And as you let your body grow heavy and your mind grow still, that gentle inner balm is there, quietly within reach, while you drift softly down towards sleep. Simply by hearing me speak of it, you may already feel the urge beginning to rise. A yawn. Perhaps it has started even now, a stretch at the back of your jaw, a deep pull of breath you did not decide to take. There is something almost magical in that. Yawning is so contagious that the mere mention of it, the word alone, can summon one out of you. And yet, for all how ordinary and familiar yawning is, something we do thousands upon thousands of times across a single life, the truth is that science still cannot say for certain why we do it at all. That is worth pausing on. Here's an act so common we barely notice it, woven into the most basic fabric of being a living creature. Yawning is older than humanity by far. It is not ours alone. Dogs and cats yawn, and so do birds and fish and creatures with scarcely any brain to speak of. Even a baby still curled in the womb months before its first breath of air has been seen to yawn in the warm dark. It is one of the oldest and most widespread behaviors in the whole animal world. And still, one of the simplest questions, what a yawn is actually for, has no settled answer. For a long while, the common belief was that yawning brings in a rush of oxygen, that we yawn when our blood runs low on it and the body calls for more. It is a tidy idea, and almost everyone has heard it. But when scientists tested it carefully, it did not hold up. Giving people more oxygen did not stop them from yawning, and the old explanation quietly fell away. Whatever a yawn is doing, it does not appear to be a simple gulp of air. So the search went on, and today there are some intriguing ideas, though it is important to hold them gently, as theories still being explored rather than settled facts. One of the leading thoughts is that a yawn may help cool the brain. The deep breath and the great stretch of the jaw send a wash of air and a surge of blood through the head, and this, some researchers suggest, might carry away a little heat and bring the brain to a more comfortable temperature. It is a compelling idea, and there is some evidence that gently supports it, but it has not been proven beyond doubt. For now, it remains one promising answer among several, a candle held up in a room not yet fully lit. You may notice, too, that a yawn rarely comes alone. It often arrives wrapped in a stretch, the arms reaching, the back arching, the whole body pulling itself long for a moment. And it tends to appear at the edges of things, as we wake and as we tire, at the borders between one state and the next. The yawn seems to mark a turning, a shift from one way of being into another, the body quietly resetting itself as it crosses from waking towards sleep, or from sleep back toward the day. And then there's the deeper riddle of why yawns spread. Why should seeing another person yawn, or hearing about it, or even reading the word tug one so reliably out of you? Here too, there are tender theories. Some scientists believe that contagious yawning is bound up with our connection to one another, a quiet thread of fellow feeling running between us. They have noticed that we seem more likely to catch a yawn from those we are close to, the people we love, than from strangers, as though the body's mimicry follows the lines of our bonds. There may be something in this, some researchers think, a faint echo of the deep human tendency to mirror one another, to fall into rhythm with the people around us. But this too is still being studied, and not everyone is convinced, and the honest answer is that the spreading of a yawn remains, for now, a gentle mystery. I find something quietly lovely in all of this. We so easily assume that the most ordinary things must be the most fully understood, that surely the small acts we do every day have long since given up their secrets. And yet here is a yawn, so humble, so constant, so utterly familiar, and it still keeps a quiet riddle folded inside it. Even in our own bodies, even in the simplest of gestures, there are small wonders that science has not yet finished unwrapping. The world need not be exotic or far away to hold a mystery. Sometimes the deepest unanswered questions are as near as your own breath. So perhaps you have yawned once or twice as you have listened. If you have, let it be. It is a gesture older than your kind, shared with nearly every creature that has ever lived, carrying a meaning we have not yet fully read. And it has come tonight, fittingly, as your body begins its slow turn toward rest. Let the next one come, if it wishes. Let your jaw loosen and your breath go deep and slow. Whatever a yawn is truly for, it walks beside sleep, an old companion to the drowsy and the drifting. And you are drifting now, gently, easily, down toward the quiet of sleep. Right at this moment, in the quiet dark around you, your body is giving off light. It is true. You are glowing, softly and silently, this very second. This is not the warmth you can feel rising from your skin, nor anything you have ever been able to see with your eyes. This is actual light, real particles of it, in the same colors your eyes were built to catch. The only trouble is that the glow is unimaginably faint, perhaps 1,000 times too dim for the human eye to notice. And so you have carried this gentle light with you every moment of your life, and never once known it was there. Scientists discovered this not so very long ago, using cameras so exquisitely sensitive they can count light almost one particle at a time. They placed people in rooms of perfect darkness, sealed away from every outside glimmer, and they waited and they watched. And there on their instruments, the human body appeared, faintly aglow. A soft luminescence rising off the skin, strongest across the cheeks and the brow and the neck, as though the face itself were quietly shining. Where does this light come from? The answer lies deep inside your cells, in the same ceaseless work that keeps you warm and alive. All day long, your body is burning fuel, drawing energy from the food you eat and the air you breathe. And in that burning, in the rush of chemistry that powers every living cell, tiny reactions take place that leave certain molecules briefly brimming with extra energy. When they settle back down, calm again, some of them release that little surplus as a single particle of light. Multiply this by the countless reactions happening inside you in every instant, and the result is a constant, gentle shimmer, far too dim to see, but unmistakably real. You are lit from within by the very process of being alive. Consider just how faint this light truly is. We know of creatures that blaze with their own glow, the firefly flickering over a summer field, the strange luminous fish drifting in the black deep of the sea, the soft blue shimmer that sometimes lights the breaking waves at night. Those are bright enough to see. The work of special organs and chemistry evolved precisely to make light. Your glow is nothing so dramatic. It is millions of times dimmer than a firefly's spark, a whisper of light rather than a flame. And it was never meant to be seen. This glow is simply the quiet residue of a body at work, the faint afterglow of life itself. There is even a rhythm to it. The glow is not perfectly steady through the day. It seems to rise and fall along with the body's inner clock, brighter at some hours and softer at others, ebbing and flowing like a slow tide of light tuned to the turning of the day. The light of you breathes in its own quiet way. Now, I should be honest and careful here, because this is where wonder must not outrun what we actually know. For the most part, scientists believe this glow is simply a byproduct, a faint side effect of the chemistry of life, light spilling off the edges of all that busy inner work, the way a fire throws off sparks. That is the careful, grounded understanding. But a few researchers have wondered something bolder, something not yet proven and still debated at the edges of science. They have asked whether this light might do more than spill out aimlessly, whether cells might, in some small way, use these faint flickers to sense or signal one another. It is an intriguing possibility, and an unproven one, a question still open and unsettled. For now, it is best held gently, as a maybe and not a fact. But even the plain truth of it, even just the glow itself, is enough to stop the mind. You are a creature that shines, quietly, constantly, without effort or intention. You give off light into the dark. The same is true of nearly every living thing, the trees outside your window, the grass, the smallest insect, all of them faintly luminous. The whole living world wrapped in a glow too soft for our eyes. We tend to think of light as something that comes from above, from the sun, from a lamp, from somewhere outside ourselves. And here it turns out that light has been pouring gently out of us all along. There is something almost tender in that thought, that you have never been entirely dark, that on the blackest, quietest night, in a room with no moon and no lamp and no star, you would still be there, glowing faintly, a small, warm presence of light in the dark, simply because you are alive. So tonight, as you lie still beneath the covers and the room grows dim around you, let yourself remember this. The darkness is never quite complete where you are. Your hands, your face, the slow rise of your chest, all of it is shining, ever so softly, with a light that is entirely your own. You do not need to see it to be held by it. It is simply there, as it always has been, a quiet glow rising off your skin while you drift gently down towards sleep. The small organ that everyone calls useless may have been keeping a secret all along. It is your appendix, a slender little pouch about the size of your finger, tucked away where your small and large intestines meet, low on the right side of your belly. For more than a century, it had a reputation as the most pointless part of the human body. A leftover, people said. A scrap of evolutionary clutter with no purpose left, dangerous only when it became inflamed and had to be cut out. Even Charles Darwin himself believed it was a useless remnant, a piece of us that time had rendered meaningless. Millions of people have had theirs removed and gone on to live full and healthy lives, never seeming to miss it. So the verdict stood. The appendix was a relic, good for nothing. But in recent years, that old verdict has begun to crumble, overturned by a quietly beautiful idea. Scientists looked more closely at this little pouch and noticed something they had long overlooked. It is unusually rich in the tissue of the immune system, alive with defensive cells, and it sits just off the main channel of the gut, like a small sheltered cove set slightly apart from a rushing river. That shape, that tucked away position, turned out to be the key. Here is the idea, and it is one of the loveliest in all of modern biology. Your gut is home to trillions of helpful bacteria, a vast and friendly community that helps you digest your food and keeps you well. Most of the time, they thrive there happily, but sometimes disaster strikes. A serious illness can sweep through the digestive system like a flood, flushing everything out, washing away the good bacteria along with the bad. And when the storm has passed, the gut is left barren, in desperate need of being repopulated. This is where the appendix may quietly earn its keep. Sheltered in its little cove, set safely apart from the flood, a reserve of those good bacteria can ride out the disaster untouched. And once the danger has passed, they can creep back out and reseed the gut, restoring the community that was lost. A safe house. A small ark, holding life in reserve until it is needed again. Scientists call this the safe house idea, and it is the leading explanation today for what the appendix is truly for. I want to be honest that it is still a hypothesis, a well-supported and increasingly accepted one, but not yet proven beyond all doubt. Yet the evidence that points toward it is genuinely intriguing. For one thing, an appendix, or something very like it, has appeared again and again across the family tree of mammals, evolving independently many separate times. Nature does not usually keep reinventing something that is truly useless. And there are hints that people who have lost their appendix may be a little more prone to certain stubborn gut infections returning, as though they have lost a reserve that once helped them bounce back. It is also a story that makes the most sense when you picture the world our ancestors lived in. A world long before clean water and modern medicine, where such gut-emptying illnesses were far more common and far more dangerous. In that world, a hidden reserve of good bacteria, ready to restore the gut after each bout of sickness, could have been a quiet advantage well worth holding on to. In our cleaner modern lives, the appendix may matter less, which is part of why we can live so easily without it. But the purpose it once served, if this idea is right, may have been real and valuable all along. There is something quietly humbling in this little story. For 100 years we looked at this organ and saw nothing but a mistake, a meaningless leftover, even a part of us best removed. We were so certain it was useless, and all the while it may have been doing something gentle and important, holding a hidden reserve of life, standing quietly ready to help us recover. We simply did not yet understand it. Perhaps that is the deeper wonder here. Not the appendix alone, but what it tells us about how much we still have to learn about our own bodies. That a part of you can be dismissed as worthless for generations, and then turn out to hold a quiet purpose we never imagined. The body keeps its own counsel. It does its work whether or not we understand it, patient with our ignorance, carrying on regardless. And your appendix, if you still have it, is down there now, doing exactly that. Asking nothing, drawing no attention. Just a small, faithful pouch tucked low in your belly. Perhaps keeping its quiet reserve of life safe and sheltered, the way it may have done for your ancestors across uncounted generations. So rest easy tonight. Even the smallest, most overlooked parts of you may be tending you in ways you will never feel, watching over your well-being in the dark while you let go of the day and drift softly off to sleep. A hiccup may be a faint echo of a time, hundreds of millions of years ago, when your ancestors breathed underwater. We all know the feeling, that sudden catch in the chest, the small involuntary gulp, and then the soft sound hic, escaping whether you want it to or not. Hiccups arrive uninvited and leave on their own schedule, and they can be by turns amusing and maddening. But have you ever stopped to wonder what a hiccup actually is, or what on earth it is for? The answer to the first question is clear enough. The answer to the second is one of the body's small, unsolved riddles, and the leading guess is strange and wonderful. First, what is actually happening? Beneath your lungs lies a great dome of muscle called the diaphragm, the muscle that drives your breathing, drawing air in as it tightens and pulls downward with each breath. A hiccup begins when this muscle gives a sudden, sharp, involuntary spasm. That jerk pulls in a quick rush of air. But then, almost instantly, a little flap at the top of your windpipe snaps shut, slamming the door on that incoming breath. The air rushing in meets the closed door, and the collision makes the sound we know so well. A spasm and a sudden closing. That is all a hiccup is, mechanically. A reflex, firing on its own. But why? Why would the body have such a reflex at all? One that serves no obvious purpose and brings no clear benefit. This is where the story reaches back almost unimaginably far. One leading idea, and I want to be clear that this is a theory rather than a settled fact, suggests that the hiccup is a kind of ghost, a leftover motor pattern inherited from creatures that lived long before us, back when our distant ancestors still dwelt in the water and breathed through gills. Picture those ancient animals, the early amphibians and the fish before them, the creatures from which all land life eventually descended. Some of them had both gills and the first simple lungs, living right at the edge between water and air. To push water across their gills, they would draw it into the mouth and force it out again. And crucially, as they did so, they would close off the passage to their lungs, sealing it shut so that the water would not flood in. A squeeze and a closing of the airway. Does that pattern sound familiar? It is, remarkably, almost exactly the motion of a hiccup. The sudden contraction, followed by the snapping shut of the airway, may be the very same ancient circuit that once let our water-dwelling ancestors breathe, still wired quietly into us, still occasionally firing, long after we left the sea and learned to breathe air. If this idea is right, then every hiccup is a kind of living fossil, a movement far older than lungs, from a time before any creature had ever crawled up onto dry land. A faint motor memory of the water, surfacing for a moment in a body that has not touched those ancient seas in countless millions of years. There are other ideas too, including the gentler thought that hiccups may help a nursing infant clear swallowed air from its belly so that it can feed more easily. This one might explain something rather touching, which is how very often the youngest among us hiccup. Babies hiccup a great deal, far more than grown adults do, and unborn babies, still curled and waiting in the warm dark of the womb, hiccup perhaps most of all, their tiny chests fluttering with it long before they have taken a single breath of air. The honest truth is that we do not know for certain which of these explanations is right, or whether it is some mixture of them, or something we have not yet thought of at all. The riddle is still open. But I find something quietly moving in that older idea, the thought of the sea still echoing inside us. We carry our history in our bodies in ways we rarely notice. The shape of our bones, the salt in our blood, the wiring of our oldest reflexes, all of it carries the faint signature of where we came from, the long road of life that led, in the end, to you. And every so often, in something as small and silly as a hiccup, a whisper of that deep past rises up and makes itself known. So the next time a hiccup catches you by surprise, you might smile and think of it a little differently. Less as a nuisance and more as a tiny ancient echo, a faint ripple from the waters where life first began, still moving through you all these long ages later. And tonight, as your breathing settles into the slow and even rhythm of rest, picture that. The long journey your body remembers without ever being told. The deep past you carry quietly within you, reaching all the way back to the gentle dark of an ancient sea. Let it rock you softly like water as you drift down toward sleep. You are the only creature on earth that blushes. Of all the animals that have ever lived, in all their endless variety, only human beings turn red with embarrassment. A dog may cower, a cat may slink away, but none of them feel that sudden warmth rise into the face, that helpless flush of color that gives away exactly what we feel. Charles Darwin, who thought long and carefully about the expressions of living things, was fascinated by this. He called blushing the most peculiar and the most human of all expressions. And the deeper you look at it, the stranger and more touching it becomes. Think about what a blush actually is. It is a physical event entirely beyond your control. When you feel embarrassed or caught out, or suddenly the center of attention, your body responds on its own. Tiny blood vessels in the skin of your cheeks and neck widen, letting more blood rush close to the surface, and your face flushes warm and red for all to see. You cannot will it to happen, and you certainly cannot will it to stop. In fact, the more you wish you would not blush, the more fiercely you often do. It is one of the very few signals our bodies send that we have almost no power to hide. And it is not only wrongdoing that brings it on. We may blush at a sudden compliment, at being praised in front of others, at simply being looked at a moment too long. Anything that turns the gaze of other people upon us and makes us feel suddenly and acutely seen can send the color rushing to our cheeks. Darwin noticed this too, that it is the thought of what others think of us, more than any guilt of our own, that most reliably brings on a blush. And that is exactly what makes it such a puzzle. Stop and think about it from the cool distance of survival. Why on earth would we evolve a response that betrays us? A blush announces to everyone watching that we feel we have done something wrong, that we are embarrassed, that we have been caught out. It broadcasts our most vulnerable and uncomfortable moments, painting them in red across our faces where no one can miss them. You would think such a thing would only work against us, that we would surely be better off keeping our discomfort hidden. So why do we wear it so openly, so helplessly, for all the world to see? The leading idea, and it is still a theory rather than a settled certainty, turns the puzzle gently on its head. Perhaps a blush is not a weakness at all, but a quiet kind of strength, a signal so honest that it cannot be faked. When you blush, you are showing the people around you that you understand you have crossed some line, that you care about the bonds between you, that you are not indifferent to having done wrong. And because you cannot fake a blush and cannot summon one on command, It carries a credibility that mere words never could. Anyone can say they are sorry, but a blush is the body confessing on its own, beyond the reach of cunning or pretense, and so it may be believed in a way that words alone are not. In this way, blushing may help to mend the small tears in the fabric between people, smoothing over a fumble, an accidental slight, a moment of awkwardness, by showing that we feel it too. There is something quietly beautiful in that. It suggests that this most awkward and unwanted of reactions, the very thing we so often wish we could be rid of, may be woven into us precisely because it helps us belong to one another. We are deeply social creatures who have always lived and survived together, and trust is the thread that holds us. A blush in this gentle reading is a thread of trust made visible, the body quietly vouching for the goodness of our hearts when our words alone might not be enough. And notice how it ties us to others in another way too. We do not usually blush alone in an empty room. We blush in the presence of other people, real or imagined, when we feel ourselves truly seen. A blush is woven from our awareness of one another, from the simple and profound fact that we care how we appear in another's eyes. It is the color of our connectedness, rising unbidden to the surface. So the next time you feel that warmth climbing into your cheeks, you might be a little gentler with yourself about it. That flush is not a failing. It may be one of the most human things about you, a sign of a heart that cares about others, that feels the weight of the bonds between people, and that wears its tenderness where it can be seen. It is something no other creature in all the world can do. And tonight, in the quiet and the dark, with no one watching and nothing to feel awkward about, your face is calm and cool and at peace. There is no need to hide anything now and nothing to give away. Just stillness and warmth and the soft letting go of the day as you drift gently down into sleep. Some people can still feel a hand that is no longer there. When a person loses a limb, an arm, a leg, a hand, the strangest thing often happens. The limb is gone, and yet the feeling of it remains. They can sense exactly where it would be, feel it resting or moving, sometimes feel warmth or cold or the press of fingers curling in a hand that no longer physically exists. Doctors call this a phantom limb, and it is not rare at all. The great majority of people who lose a limb experience it, this vivid presence of something that is no longer there. The body is gone, but the felt sense of the body lingers on. How can this be? How can you feel a hand you no longer have? The answer reveals something profound and a little dizzying about who and what we are. The body you feel yourself to have, the warm, solid, familiar shape you live inside, is not simply out there in your flesh. It is also, and perhaps more truly, a map held within your brain. Deep inside, your brain carries a complete model of your body, a kind of inner image of every part, stitched together from a lifetime of sensation. Your every touch and movement is painted onto this inner map. And here's the crucial thing. When a limb is lost, the map does not immediately erase it. The region of the brain that held that hand is still there, still active, holding the shape of a hand even now. And so the brain goes on feeling the hand, because as far as that inner map is concerned, the hand is still part of you. It means the body you live in, the one you feel from the inside, is in a real sense a creation of your mind. This does not make it false or imaginary. The feeling is utterly real, but it is also something made, assembled by the brain from the signals it receives, an inner portrait of yourself that the brain paints and maintains every moment of your life. Most of the time, this portrait matches your physical body so perfectly that you never notice any difference between them. Only when something changes, when a part is lost and yet still felt, does the scene quietly show, and we glimpse the astonishing truth that the body we experience has always lived as much in the brain as in the flesh. There is an even more startling hint of how deep this inner map runs. A small number of people who were born without a limb, who never had a hand or an arm at all, have nonetheless reported feeling a phantom one, a vivid sense of a limb they never physically possessed. If that is so, then the map of the body may be something we carry from the very beginning, written into us before birth, a template of the human form waiting in the brain, whether or not the body matches it. The image of ourselves, it seems, may be older and deeper than the flesh it describes. There is a tender twist to this story, and a hopeful one. For some people, a phantom limb can bring real pain, an ache or a cramp in fingers that are no longer there. And because the limb is gone, it can be terribly hard to soothe. But a clever and gentle remedy was discovered, born from understanding how the inner map works. A person is seated before a simple mirror, placed so that the reflection of their remaining hand appears exactly where the missing one would be. They look into the mirror and see two hands again, whole and present. And when they move the hand they still have, the brain, seeing its reflection, is gently fooled into believing the lost hand is moving too, that it is unclenching, relaxing, coming free. For many people, astonishingly, the phantom pain eases. The brain, shown a soothing image, quietly calms the map it had been holding in distress. A mirror, a reflection, and a moment of gentle illusion, easing a pain that lived in a limb that was no longer there. Sit with what that means. It tells us how deeply the mind and the body are entwined, how the feeling of being whole is something the brain builds and tends, and how it can be reached and comforted in unexpected ways. We are far more than simple machines of flesh, with sensation merely flowing in from outside. We are, in part, the story the brain tells about the body, a living portrait painted from within, so vivid and so complete that it can outlast even the loss of the thing it portrays. And there is something quietly moving in the loyalty of it. The brain holds on to the shape of you faithfully, even when a part is gone. It keeps the map of the whole, as though reluctant to let any piece of you simply vanish. That inner image of your body, complete and cherished, is one of the most intimate things your mind carries, the felt sense of being you, held gently in the dark behind your eyes. So tonight, as you lie still, you might feel for a moment the quiet wholeness of yourself, the warm and familiar shape of you, every part present and accounted for, resting easy. That feeling is your brain's gift to you, its faithful inner portrait, painted with care and held close. Let it settle now, soft and complete, as you drift gently down towards sleep. The swirling pattern on the tips of your fingers belongs to you alone and to no one else who has ever lived. Look down at your fingertips for a moment, at the fine ridges curving across them in loops and whorls and arches. Those tiny lines are utterly unique to you. In all the billions of people alive today, and all the countless billions who have ever lived across the whole span of human history, no one has ever had fingerprints exactly like yours, and no one ever will. You carry, on the tips of your hands, a signature that has never once been repeated in all of time. What makes this even stranger is where those patterns come from. They are not simply written in your genes, handed down like the color of your eyes. Consider identical twins, two people grown from a single split, sharing the very same DNA down to the smallest letter. In almost every way, they are biological copies of one another, and yet their fingerprints are different. Look closely, and the loops and ridges do not match. Two people with identical instructions, and still each fingertip wears its own pattern. How can that be? The answer lies in the strange and delicate dance of how we form before we are born. Fingerprints take shape early, while you are still developing in the womb, in the first months of life. As the skin of the tiny fingertips grows, it buckles and folds into ridges, and the exact pattern those ridges take is shaped by 1,000 small and unrepeatable things. The precise way the skin presses and grows, the flow of fluid around the developing hand, the slightest differences in pressure and position and timing from one moment to the next as the fingers form. No two of these journeys are ever quite the same, not even for twins sharing a single womb. And so each fingertip ends up wearing a record of its own utterly particular making, a frozen trace of the unique conditions under which you came to be. Your fingerprints are, in a sense, a memory of the womb, the signature of one singular path into existence. And here is something that may surprise you. For all that we know about how fingerprints form and all the ways we use them to unlock our phones, to solve crimes, to prove who we are, scientists still are not entirely sure what they are actually for. It seems an obvious question with an obvious answer, and yet it is genuinely open. For a long time, the common belief was that the ridges help us grip, giving our fingers traction the way the tread on a tire grips the road. It is a sensible thought, but when researchers actually put it to the test, the results were surprising and not at all clear-cut. Some studies suggested the ridges may not improve grip in the way everyone had assumed, and might even reduce contact with smooth surfaces rather than increase it. So other ideas have come forward, and one of them is quietly elegant. Perhaps fingerprints are not mainly about holding on at all, but about feeling. Your fingertips are among the most sensitive places on your entire body, packed with tiny sensors that can detect the faintest textures and vibrations. And it may be that the ridges sharpen the sense of touch, that as your finger moves across a surface, the ridges set up tiny vibrations that the sensors beneath can read, helping you feel the difference between silk and paper, between smooth and rough, with astonishing delicacy. By this idea, your fingerprints are less like the tread of a tire and more like the needle of a record player, drawing fine sensation from the texture of the world. Both possibilities, grip and touch, are still being weighed, and the honest answer is that we do not yet fully know. A question this simple, about something so familiar, remains unsettled to this day. There is something lovely in holding both of these truths at once, that the patterns on your fingertips are at one and the same time a mark of your absolute uniqueness, a signature shared with no other human being who has ever existed, and also a small standing mystery, a part of your own body whose purpose science has not yet pinned down. You carry both wonders with you everywhere, pressed quietly into the tips of the hands resting before you now. So tonight, you might let your fingers rest and your hands grow still and think, just for a moment, of those tiny, unrepeatable patterns you have worn since before you were even born. A quiet emblem of how singular you are, of how there has never been and will never be another exactly like you. Carry that gently with you as you let go of the day and drift softly down towards sleep. Right now, without ever having noticed, you are breathing mostly through just one nostril. Take a slow breath and pay attention. If you feel carefully, you may notice that the air moves more freely through one side of your nose than the other. One nostril is open and easy, while the other is partly closed, quietly congested. This is not a sign of a cold or anything wrong. It is simply how your nose works, every hour of every day. And the truly strange part is what happens next. After a while, perhaps an hour, perhaps a few hours, your nose will quietly switch. The open nostril will slowly close and the closed one will open, and you will go right on breathing, never noticing that anything has changed at all. Scientists call this the nasal cycle, and almost everyone has it, though hardly anyone is aware of it. Deep inside your nose, lining each nostril, there is soft tissue laced with blood vessels, a little like a spongy lining that can swell and shrink. Your body, working entirely on its own through the part of the nervous system you never have to think about, sends a touch more blood to one side, gently swelling the tissue there and narrowing that nostril. Meanwhile, the other side drains and opens wide. And then, after a time, the pattern reverses, smoothly and silently, all by itself. One nostril rests while the other works, taking turns through the day and the night, in a slow rhythm you have lived with your whole life and almost certainly never felt. There is even a version of this you may have noticed without understanding it. Lie down on your side, and after a little while, the lower nostril, the one closer to the pillow, tends to grow congested, while the upper one opens. Roll over to the other side, and slowly the pattern flips to match. Many people who shift in the night, turning from one side to the other, are unknowingly answering this quiet rhythm, the body adjusting the flow of breath as they move. Now here's the gentle mystery at the heart of it. For something this universal and constant, woven into every breath we take, scientists are still not entirely certain why the nose does this at all. It seems strange to have a system this reliable with no settled explanation, and yet that is exactly where we stand. There are some thoughtful ideas. One is that the cycle simply gives each side of the nose a chance to rest and recover, to stay moist and healthy, while the other carries the work of breathing, so that neither side grows worn or dry. Another idea is quietly beautiful, and it has to do with smell. Different scents, it turns out, are best detected at different speeds of airflow. Some odors reveal themselves to a quick rush of air, others to a slow and gentle draw. So perhaps, by keeping one nostril fast and open and the other slow and narrow, your nose can sense a wider range of the world's smells than either nostril could alone, two slightly different windows onto the scented air. These are promising thoughts, and the honest truth is that we do not yet know for certain which, if any, is the real reason. This quiet switching is part of a larger truth about your body, that it is full of rhythms you never feel. Just as your heart keeps its beat and your lungs their slow tide, your nose keeps its own gentle cycle, one of many hidden clocks ticking away inside you. Some researchers have even wondered whether this nasal rhythm rises and falls in step with other slow cycles of the body and the brain across the day, though that connection is still being studied and is far from certain. What we can say is that your body is not truly still, even at rest. It is alive with quiet rhythms, layered one upon another, each keeping its own patient time. I find something soothing in this small hidden rhythm. All through your life, beneath your notice, your body has been quietly keeping time, swelling and draining, opening and closing in a slow and patient cycle as faithful as breathing itself. You never had to manage it or even know about it. It simply carried on, tending the flow of air through you, hour after hour, year after year, asking nothing of your attention. And it is happening right now, as you lie here growing still. One nostril open, one nostril resting, the soft tissue inside gently swelling and easing, your breath finding its quiet path through you. There is nothing for you to do but let it. Let the air move slowly in and slowly out, through whichever side is open tonight, in the patient rhythm your body has always known. And let that rhythm carry you, breath by gentle breath, down towards sleep. You belong to the only creature on earth that weeps from feeling. Many animals have eyes that water. A dog's eyes glisten, a seal's eyes stream, tears wash and protect the eyes of countless creatures across the living world. But those are tears of a different kind, made to clean and shield the eye, to wash away dust or guard against the cold. No other animal, as far as we can tell, sheds tears because of what it feels. Only human beings cry from sorrow or from joy, or from a tenderness too great to hold inside. Among all the creatures that have ever lived, this strange and beautiful response appears to be ours alone. Think about how mysterious that really is. When grief rises in you, or when you are overwhelmed by love, or moved by something achingly beautiful, salt water gathers in your eyes and spills down your face. It is one of the most human things we do, and yet if you step back and look at it plainly, it is genuinely puzzling. Why should a feeling, something happening deep in the mind, reach out and make the eyes overflow? What is the connection between the ache in your chest and the water on your cheeks? It is a question that sounds simple and turns out to run surprisingly deep. Scientists have offered some gentle and thoughtful ideas, though I want to be honest that none of them is fully settled. The leading thought is that emotional tears are, above all, a way of speaking to one another without words. A face wet with tears is unmistakable. It signals, more clearly than any words could, that we are in pain, that we need comfort, that something has moved us deeply. And because tears blur our own vision and leave us a little vulnerable, they may also quietly signal that we mean no harm, that we are open, that we are reaching out rather than threatening. In this way, tears may be a kind of bridge between people, a silent call for closeness and care, drawing others toward us in our moments of greatest need. We cry perhaps because we are creatures who were never meant to face our deepest feelings entirely alone. And notice that we do not only weep from sorrow. We cry at weddings and reunions, at the sight of something unbearably beautiful, at the sound of a piece of music that opens us up, at the safe return of someone we feared was lost. Tears come at the heights of feeling as well as the depths, whenever emotion swells beyond what we can quietly contain. It is as though, when the heart grows too full to hold its feeling in, it gently overflows, and the overflow runs down our faces as tears. There is another idea too, and here I must be especially careful, because it is often repeated but not well proven. Some have suggested that emotional tears might help carry stress out of the body, that the very act of crying releases something and leaves us calmer afterward. It is true that many people feel a kind of relief after a good cry, a softening, a settling. But whether the tears themselves are actually flushing something away, or whether the calm comes from some other source, remains genuinely unclear and unproven. So it is best held lightly as a possibility rather than a fact. What we can say with more confidence is that crying reaches deep into the oldest, most feeling parts of the brain, the places where our emotions live. It is not a thin or surface thing. It rises from the very core of who we are, and it carries something remarkable, the ability to express what words so often cannot. There are moments in a life too heavy or too full for language, when nothing we could say would ever be enough. And in those moments, the body finds another way to speak. It weeps. There is something tender in the thought that this belongs to us alone. That of all the creatures on this earth, we are the ones who cry from the heart. It is bound up with how deeply we feel, how much we love and grieve and care, how powerfully we are moved by one another and by the world. Our tears are a small, shining sign of the depth of our inner lives and of how profoundly we are made for connection. So tonight, with the day behind you and your face soft and dry and at rest, you might hold this quietly. Whatever you have felt today, joy or sorrow or something with no name, it passed through a heart that was capable of feeling it fully. That is no small thing. That is one of the deepest gifts of being human. And now, as the feelings of the day settle and grow still, you can let them rest. Let your eyes close gently and your breath grow slow as you drift softly down towards sleep. Every single day in hospitals all over the world, countless people are gently switched off, and no one fully understands how. It happens through the quiet marvel we call general anesthesia. A person lies down, a doctor gives a careful measure of medicine, and within moments the patient is gone. Not asleep exactly, but somewhere deeper and stranger, a place with no dreams, no sensation, no passing of time. Whole hours can slip by, an entire surgery unfold, and the person experiences none of it. And then when it is over, they return, rising back up into the world as though no time had passed at all. It is one of the most routine procedures in all of medicine, performed safely millions upon millions of times. And yet at its very heart lies one of the deepest mysteries we know. We do understand a great deal about it. We know which medicines work and roughly where in the body they act, quieting the chatter of nerve cells, dialing down the signals that pass between them, gently muffling the brain's vast inner conversation. Doctors can measure it, control it with remarkable precision, guide a person down into that silence, and safely back up again with great skill. In all those practical ways, anesthesia is well understood, and we should be grateful that it is, for it has spared humanity an ocean of suffering. But here's the part that remains genuinely open, the question that opens onto something vast. When the medicine takes hold and a person's awareness simply vanishes, where does it go? What exactly is being switched off? Because to switch off awareness, even for an hour, we would first have to understand what awareness is. And that, the simple fact of your own inner experience, the feeling of being someone here, now, looking out at the world, is one of the great unsolved riddles of all of science. We do not truly know how the gentle electrical activity of the brain gives rise to the vivid felt experience of being you. And so, when anesthesia quietly dissolves that experience and then restores it, it is brushing right up against the deepest mystery there is, the mystery of consciousness itself. There is a clue hidden in how anesthesia works, and it is a tantalizing one. The brain does not seem to shut down entirely while a person is under. Many of its parts go on humming away, still active, still alive. What appears to change is the way those parts talk to one another. In ordinary waking life, the different regions of your brain are in constant rich conversation, weaving all their separate signals together into the single seamless experience you are having right now. Under anesthesia, that weaving seems to come undone. The regions fall quiet toward each other. The great conversation breaks into scattered, disconnected pieces, and somehow, when the parts can no longer speak together as one, the unified experience of being conscious simply fades away. It hints that your awareness may live not in any single place in the brain, but in the connection between its parts, in the conversation itself. Though I should say that this remains an idea still being actively explored, not a settled answer. One of the threads scientists are following toward an understanding we do not yet fully have. Consider how profound this is. We have learned to reach into the brain and switch consciousness off and on, reliably and safely, again and again, without ever fully understanding the very thing we are switching. It is a little like being able to play a piece of music flawlessly without knowing what music truly is. We have the practical mastery in hand, and the deepest understanding still lies somewhere ahead of us, out in the dark. And there is something quietly humbling in that, even something beautiful. It reminds us how much wonder still surrounds the most ordinary moments of our lives. Even the simple fact that you are aware at all right now, taking in these words, feeling yourself to be here. That awareness, so familiar that you never think to question it, is among the most mysterious things in the entire known universe. You carry it with you always, this strange inner light of being someone, and science has only begun to understand it. So tonight, as your own awareness begins to soften and dim, not switched off by any medicine, but easing gently and naturally towards sleep, you might marvel for a moment at the simple miracle of having a mind at all, of being here, aware, alive to your own existence, and then let it go softly as your consciousness loosens its hold and you drift down, all on your own, into the gentle dark of sleep. Lower your face into cold water, and within seconds, an ancient survival program quietly awakens inside you. You do not have to do anything to trigger it. The moment cold water touches your face, especially around your nose and brow, your body responds entirely on its own, with a set of changes you never learned and cannot control. Your heart begins to slow. The blood vessels in your hands and feet tighten, drawing blood away from your limbs and gathering it close around your heart, your lungs, your brain. Your whole body shifts, in an instant, into a state designed to protect what matters most. Scientists call this the dive reflex, and it is one of the most remarkable things your body can do. The purpose of it is to save your life underwater. When you cannot breathe, the precious oxygen already in your blood becomes something to guard with great care. By slowing your heart, your body burns through that oxygen more slowly, making it last. By pulling blood in from the edges toward the core, it keeps the most vital organs, the brain and the heart, supplied the longest. It is as though your body, sensing water on your face, quietly prepares for a dive, calming itself, conserving everything, settling into a deep and economical stillness so that you might endure beneath the surface a little longer. Even in grown adults, you can feel a hint of it. Splash cold water on your face or step into a cold sea, and you may notice your breath catch and then your heart settle into a slower, steadier beat. Some people use this very trick to calm themselves when their heart is racing, leaning into cold water and letting the old reflex do its quiet work, slowing things down from within. It is a small reminder that this ancient response is not just a story about seals and whales, but something living in you, close beneath the surface, ready to rise the moment the cold water calls. And here is what makes it so wondrous. This reflex is not ours alone. It belongs to all of us mammals, the seals and the whales and the dolphins, the otters and the dogs, and the great diving creatures of the deep. In the animals that live their lives in water, it is breathtakingly powerful, slowing a seal's heart to a small fraction of its normal pace, letting a whale stay down in the depths for an hour or more. In us, it is gentler, a quieter echo of the same response, but it is unmistakably the same ancient pattern shared across the whole vast family of mammals, a piece of deep inheritance written into creatures that branched away from one another many millions of years ago, and yet still carry this one quiet reflex in common. You can see it most clearly in the very young. A newborn baby, lowered gently into water, will often hold its breath all on its own, the little airway closing to keep the water out, the heartbeat slowing in just the same way. Babies are born already knowing this, before they have learned anything at all about the world. It is not taught. It comes built in, surfacing from somewhere deep in our shared past, a reflex older than memory, older than humanity, waiting quietly in us from the very first day of life. There is something humbling in carrying a response like this, a piece of survival wisdom you never asked for and never learned, lying dormant within you until the very moment it is needed. Most of your life, it sleeps, unused and unfelt. You may go years, decades, an entire lifetime without ever once calling upon it. And yet it is always there, ready, a quiet guardian wired into the deepest layers of your body, a gift handed down across countless generations of living things, all the way back to ancestors who knew the water far better than we ever will. It reminds us that the body is not a blank thing we simply fill with our own experience, but a vessel carrying the long memory of life itself. Inside you are reflexes and rhythms far older than you, shaped over unimaginable stretches of time by ancestors whose lives you will never know. You are the latest carrier of an ancient inheritance, holding within you the quiet wisdom of all the creatures that came before, the whole long lineage that led at last to you. So tonight, there is no cold water and no dive, nothing that calls for these ancient defenses. Your body is safe and warm and still, and that deep old reflex sleeps quietly within you, as it does almost all the time, simply waiting, asking nothing. You can let it rest, along with the rest of you. There is nothing to guard against here, nothing to endure, only the soft warmth of your bed and the slow rhythm of your easy breathing, carrying you gently down towards sleep. You will spend about a third of your entire life asleep, and even now, science cannot fully say why. Stop and let that settle for a moment. If you live a long life, you will pass some 25 or 30 years of it unconscious, lying still in the dark, lost to the world. It is among the largest things we ever do, this vast surrender of our waking hours, repeated every single night, and every creature seems to do it. Not only us, but the animals of the land and the sea and the air, down to the smallest and simplest among them, all of them stop and rest and sleep. Even tiny creatures with the barest flicker of a nervous system fall into states of sleep. It is one of the most universal facts of life on Earth, and the deepest question about it, why we must do it at all, remains genuinely unanswered. What makes the mystery so striking is how much sleep seems to cost us. To sleep is to lie helpless for hours, unaware, unable to eat or act or guard ourselves, open to any danger that might come. In the long, harsh story of survival, you would expect such a costly habit to have been worn away long ago, unless it were doing something absolutely essential, something life simply cannot do without. And clearly it is. We know this because of what happens when sleep is taken away. Go without it for long enough, and the body and mind begin to fail in serious ways. Sleep is not optional. It is a deep necessity, woven into the very foundations of being alive. And yet for all that, the precise reason still rests just out of our reach. Scientists have gathered some compelling ideas, each likely holding a piece of the truth. One of the most beautiful is that sleep may be the time when the brain cleanses itself. During the day, the busy work of thinking leaves behind a kind of waste in the brain, the natural residue of all that activity. And there is growing evidence that during sleep, the spaces within the brain open a little wider, and a gentle tide of fluid flows through, washing that waste away, rinsing the mind clear by morning. It is a lovely thought that we sleep in part to be cleansed, to wake refreshed and clear because the night has quietly tidied what the day left behind. I should say this is a hypothesis still being studied and refined, not a closed case, but the evidence behind it has been growing. There are other pieces too. Sleep seems to be when the brain sorts and stores the memories of the day, taking the jumble of our waking experience and quietly filing it away, deciding what to keep and weaving it into the lasting fabric of who we are. Sleep may also be a time of rebalancing, when the countless connections between brain cells, grown tangled and overgrown through a day of learning, are gently pruned and restored to order so the mind stays supple and ready to learn again. Each of these ideas captures something real, but none of them on its own fully explains the deep and absolute need we have for sleep. The complete answer is still being pieced together. And then there is the deeper riddle within the riddle, the strange country of dreams. Why, in the depths of sleep, do we drift into vivid, imagined worlds, living out stories that never happened, feeling them as though they were entirely real? What dreams are truly for, no one knows. Perhaps they help us sort our feelings, or rehearse the things we fear, or simply arise as the resting mind plays quietly over itself in the dark. Dreaming remains one of the most personal and most mysterious experiences a human being can have, and one of the least understood. There is something quietly wondrous in all of this, that every night of your life, you let go of the waking world entirely and surrender to something you do not fully understand, something your body craves with an ancient and unbreakable need. You have done it every night you have ever lived, and you will do it again tonight, and still its deepest purpose remains a gentle mystery, even to those who have studied it most closely. But you do not need to solve it to give yourself to it. Sleep asks nothing of your understanding. It asks only that you let go, that you loosen your hold on the day, and sink into the deep restoration your body has always known how to find. So let yourself go now, willingly, into that old and necessary mystery. Whatever it is truly for, it is yours, and it is waiting, as it has waited every night of your life to gather you gently in and carry you down into sleep. Deep within your cells, on the very tips of the strands that hold your genetic code, tiny protective caps are slowly wearing away. They are a little like the small plastic tips on the ends of shoelaces, the ones that keep the laces from fraying. In your cells, these caps sit at the ends of your chromosomes, the long threads that carry your DNA. And their job is to protect those precious threads from coming undone. But every time one of your cells divides to make a fresh copy of itself, something happens that no cell can avoid. The caps grow just a little shorter, and over a lifetime, division after division, year after year, they slowly wear down, until at last they grow too short to protect the threads any longer, and the cell can divide no more. This quiet shortening happening invisibly inside you is one of the threads in the great unsolved puzzle of why we grow old. Because here's a truth that may surprise you. For all that aging is the most universal of human experiences, something every person who has ever lived has faced, science still does not fully understand why it happens. There is no single simple answer. No one cause that explains it all. Instead, there are several powerful ideas, each capturing a part of the picture, each true in its way, and yet none of them complete on its own. The wearing of those protective caps is one piece, but there are others woven alongside it. As the years pass, some of your cells grow old and stop dividing, yet do not quietly disappear as they should. Instead, they linger, worn out but still present, and as they gather over time, they can send out subtle signals that disturb the healthy tissue around them. Some scientists believe these lingering cells are a meaningful part of how a body ages, and there is real and growing interest in what might happen if they could be gently cleared away. There is another piece still, deep in the tiny engines that power your cells. Over a lifetime, these little powerhouses can accumulate wear and small damage, and as they begin to falter, the cells they fuel begin to falter too, a slow dimming of the body's vast inner energy. And beyond all of these, there is the gradual blurring, across many years, of the delicate instructions that tell each cell how to be itself, as though a clear handwriting were slowly smudging with time. Each of these processes is real. Each plays some part, and scientists are still working to understand how they fit together, which matter most, and how the whole intricate story truly unfolds. There's even a quiet irony woven through it all. Some of these very processes are the flip side of the things that keep us alive and whole. The same constant dividing of cells that heals our wounds and renews our tissues is what slowly wears those protective caps away. In growing and repairing ourselves, day after day, we may also be gently spending ourselves down. Aging in this light is not some outside enemy to be fought off, but in part the deep price of being a living, renewing thing at all. I want to be honest that this is a field still very much in motion, full of competing ideas and open questions. We do not yet have the final answer to why we age, or whether it is one process or many tangled together. It remains one of the deepest and most actively explored mysteries in all of biology, a question as old as humanity and still not fully solved. And yet there is something quietly profound in simply sitting with it. Aging is so woven into life that we rarely stop to find it strange. But it is strange, and it is tender. Every living thing changes as it moves through time, carried along on the same slow current we all share. The wearing of those small caps, the gathering of worn cells, the gentle dimming of our inner fires, all of it is part of the great rhythm of being alive, of moving through the world in a body that grows and flowers and slowly changes, as everything in nature does. There is a kind of peace to be found in that, in seeing yourself as part of something so vast and so universal. The same unfolding that turns a green leaf golden in the autumn, that carries a river slowly down to the sea, moves through you as well. It is not a flaw or a failing. It is simply what it means to be a living thing in a world of time, to be part of the turning of all things, beautiful and impermanent and real. So tonight, there is nothing to fear in any of this, and nothing you must hold or carry. You are exactly where you are meant to be in the long, gentle unfolding of a life. Let the day's small worries about time and change drift away from you now. Let yourself simply be here, alive and breathing, in this quiet moment that asks nothing at all of you, and let that peace carry you softly down towards sleep. Almost every atom in your body will be replaced within a year, and yet you will still be you. It is a strange and wonderful truth. The body you have tonight is not, in its actual substance, the body you had a few years ago. You are not made of permanent stuff. Your cells are forever wearing out and being replaced, quietly, ceaselessly, behind the scenes of your life. The lining of your stomach renews itself every few days. Your skin sheds and remakes itself within weeks. Even your bones, which feel so solid and lasting, are slowly dismantled and rebuilt, so that over the course of about a decade, you come to have, in effect, a new skeleton. Piece by piece, cell by cell, atom by atom, you are constantly being made anew. The you of this very moment is built from material that was, not long ago, somewhere else entirely, in the food you ate, the water you drank, the very air you breathed. This is one of the oldest puzzles human beings have ever pondered, returning in a new and living form. Long ago, people imagined a ship whose planks were replaced one by one until not a single original plank remained, and they asked, is it still the same ship? You are the living answer to that ancient question. Nearly everything you were made of has been swapped out again and again across the years, and yet through it all, something remains. You are still here, still yourself, the same person who has moved through all those changing bodies, carried along unbroken, while the substance beneath you flowed and changed like a river. And that points to something profound about what you truly are. If the matter is always changing, then perhaps you were never really the matter at all. Perhaps you are not the stuff, but the pattern. The particular atoms come and go like visitors, but the arrangement endures, the shape, the living form that holds steady while the material pours through it. Think of a wave traveling across the ocean. The wave moves for miles, keeping its shape, and yet the water itself does not travel along with it. Each drop only rises and falls in place as the wave passes through. The wave is not the water. It is a pattern moving through the water. And you, in a way, are something like that. A pattern holding its form while the atoms of the world flow through you and move onward. There is one tender exception worth knowing. A very few parts of you do endure, carried with you from nearly the beginning. Deep in the core of the eye, certain cells that help you see were formed when you were still in the womb and have stayed with you ever since. And many of the cells of your brain, the ones that hold your memories and help make you who you are with you for your whole life, never replaced. So even as almost all of you is endlessly remade, A small and precious thread runs unbroken from your earliest days to this very night, a quiet core of you that has been there all along, watching the rest of you flow and change around it. And here is the thought to carry gently into sleep. Those atoms that make you up, the ones forever arriving and departing, did not begin with you and will not end with you. They are borrowed. The carbon in your cells, the oxygen in your blood, the calcium in your bones, all of it was forged long ago in the hearts of ancient stars, scattered across space when those stars died, and gathered up in time into the earth, into living things, into you. You are made of stardust, quite literally, on loan for a little while. And one day, far from now, these same atoms will move on again, into the soil, the air, new living things, the long, unbroken story of matter that has been flowing since the very beginning of everything. So you are not a fixed and solid thing, sitting apart from the world. You are a pattern the universe is making for a time out of borrowed star stuff. A wave the cosmos is shaping, holding its lovely form for a little while before passing its atoms gently onward. You belong to the whole vast flowing of things, woven from the same ancient material as the stars and the seas and every living creature that has ever been. And tonight, as you lie here, that endless quiet making goes softly on within you. Old cells fading, new ones forming, atoms drifting in and out, the river of you flowing gently on, the way it always has. You do not have to do a single thing. You are held in the great current of all things, made and remade by a universe that has been at this for billions of years. So let yourself rest now, my friend, here in this passing, precious arrangement of stardust that is you, and drift gently down towards sleep, cradled in the long current of the ages, made of the very same light as the stars. And so we come to the end of our gentle journey through the strange and beautiful country of the human body. If you are still awake here in the quiet, that is perfectly all right. There is no hurry and nothing to do but rest. If you would like to keep drifting, to let another soft voice carry you a little further into the night, there is another video waiting for you, ready to begin, full of more quiet wonders to wander through as you fall asleep. You need only let it play and let yourself sink a little deeper into the dark. But whether you drift onward or simply lie here now, let yourself feel, just for a moment, the quiet marvel of the body that has carried you through this day and through all your days. This astonishing, ancient, ever-changing miracle that is you, breathing softly in the dark, made of stardust and deep time, woven from the long story of life itself. There is so much wonder folded into the simple fact of being here, alive, on this small and lovely world. Now there is nothing left to think about and know where you need to be. Let your body grow heavy and warm, your breathing slow and deepen, the last of the day dissolving gently into the quiet. You are safe, you are held exactly where you need to be. Rest now, my friend. Sleep deeply and sleep well. Sweet dreams among the stars.